What is up, beautiful people? Welcome once again to hellohnclothing. Welcome to another wonderful video. In today's video, we're talking about boning techniques. I'm going to show you different methods that you can use to bone your garments, be it ashwabi, weddings, bridals, evening dresses, corsetry, any kind of style at all. So there are some that you know already, and there are some that I'm going to show you. I'm going to reveal the secret to you, and it's going to blow your mind. Absolutely. Remember that we made a video talking about the different type of bonings. If you've not watched that video, you need to watch it so that you come from a place of understanding and you'll be able to flow into this word. Okay. So I've done them already. Show some of it so that you know what to expect. There are some that after boning you can't even see anything on the exterior part, right? So enough talking, guys. Let's head over to the sewing machine and let us begin. The first boning technique we're going to look at is the one that requires us to create a boning channel. So we're going to do this boning channel using the sewing allowance. So I'm using a bone that is about 5 mm. That means my sewing allowance could be about half an inch. Once you've gone ahead to sew up the sewing allowance, the next thing is to open it up this way, okay? And then you're going to use the size of this bone to determine how your channel will be. So whatever the size of your bone is, you're going to be adding ease to it. Here I have 5 mm, which is 0.5 cm. And then I'm just going to put ease there. I'm just sewing it this way, such that I'll be having ease while I slot it in. Okay. Now this is what you'll be having once you're done. This is the wrong side, this is the right side. And then what we just do is take our bone and then just slot it in. So this is the first one. Let's move over to the next boning technique. Remember to use the width of your bone to gauge how wide your sewing allowance will be. I'm using half an inch. So the next thing is to open up your sewing allowance this way. Instead of just putting everything to one side this way, you're going to be opening up the sewing allowance, right? You're going to iron it smoothly to lay flat. You're then going to take your bone to measure it. Remember that you need to put ease while putting in the bone. So I hope you get what I did there. Place it from that seam line. Place it from that seam line and make sure you have ease to be able to accommodate the bone when it will be inserted. Okay, once that is done, we can now sew this up. So I've sewn the first one this way. Let me put it this way now and sew the second one so that I can see what I'm sewing. Very good. So you'll be having double channels on both sides of the sewing allowance. And then we'll just go right ahead to insert our bones on both sides. So you see that it goes in smoothly with ease. So here we are going to have the second boning technique. Let's move on to the next boning technique. This boning technique requires the use of a boning channel. However, there will not be any seam line on your main fabric, either your lining or the main fabric. You won't see any seam. So let me show you how you're going to do this. You're going to sew your sewing allowance first of all. You're going to press open your seam. The next thing you do is take your gross grain ribbon or your custom made bias that you have created, right? You should have created a bias. And then you're going to open up the seam this way. Once you open it up, take each of this sewing allowance, right? Each of it, and pin it to the grain this way. So what you're going to be doing is sewing very close to the edge here, so close to this place here, or depending on the kind of bone you're putting. For instance, if we put this here, you see that there still is. That's why we need to sew close. And if you're using the round plastic bone, the tinier one, you may not need to sew as close to the edge as possible. Okay, so I hope you get what I mean. We will then move this out of the way, move all these ones this side, place this here. So we are only sewing this channel to this side of the allowance. So once we've done that, the next one is to take the other um, channel, that's the other part of the bias, and sew it to just this side of the sewing allowance. Move the other things out of the way. Close to the edge. Great. So once you've now created this, that means you're creating a channel in between the sewing allowance. You can now slot in your bone this way. Okay, so the bone will be there giving the structure, but it's not visible to the naked eyes here. Like you can't see it, but you know that you've put a bone there. All right, let's take a break real quick. A quick one here. So if you have not watched the different boning types we have, here is the link to the video to watch it, okay? So that you understand that it's not just plastic bone that you can use. The fact that I'm just putting plastic bones and talking about round plastic bone does not mean that I cannot use my spiral steel bone in this place. It will work perfectly. See how very flexible, like it looks so good. I could also still use this one, my flat steel bone, right there. So depending on the kind of bone you have and the look you're going for, you can use any type of bone in any of these channels we are creating. Let's move on to the next boning technique. So we're going to sew up your sewing allowance first of all. So for this boning technique, we need our regling bone. Regling bone is the sew on bone. You can sew on this bone. Now, this is how it goes. You're going to open up the sewing allowance this way. And once you've opened up, you're going to place your regling bone, like centralize it. And then what you're going to be sewing is using a sewing technique called stitch in the ditch. Stitch in the ditch means that you're going to be sewing in the sewing allowance. Okay, so you're making sure that your bone is not moving out of place. If you know that you are not very confident with um the bone staying put, you can stabilize it with your hemming gum. Put hemming gum and iron it, or put something to make it stay put and not moving around. Okay, because pin, if you use pin, you may not hold it. So you're going to place it that way, and you're going to be sewing on the right side in the stitch, that's in this seam line here, inside the seam line. So you're going to be targeting your needle to go in the seam. As you're going, be lifting up and be adjusting to make sure that it's centralized. Okay, so I can remove this. And you can see another boning technique. You see that you're not seeing your sewing line, and here you can see the stitch here. Moving on to the next boning technique. This one still entails using the regling bone, and we are just going to first off start with our sewing allowance. Okay, after you've stitched it up, you're going to open up your sewing allowance, take your regling bone and place it right there in the middle. What you're going to be sewing is on this edge, on both sides of the edge, both here and here. That's where you actually sew. Here and here. That's where you sew. Don't let it go into this place because it may be cutting your thread and all of that. And you can either sew this to show on the outside of the fabric, this way, so it shows here this way, or still opening it up, you're going to be sewing on just the sewing allowance. So you centralize, push that out of the way. So the first one on just the sewing allowance. Then push the other side to out of the way and sew the right or the left hand side on just the sewing allowance. So with this technique, it's not going to show here, but you have boning secured on the allowance, which will still give you the snatch you need. Okay, for this next boning technique, this is like quilting. You're going to put main fabric and an under fabric together this way, and then create lines. So I'll use my bone to be like my ruler. You are going to create lines according to the size of the bone you are going to be using. So once you've created these lines, you're going to sew on each of the lines, okay? Just sew your channel. Great. So the lines must be evenly spaced this way. Space out the lines this way. You can see it evenly spaced. And the next thing you want to do is get your bones and then you start boning each of the lines, like pass your bones through. Okay, so here it is. Woo, this is beautiful. So this is another boning technique that you can incorporate into any of your design. Best believe that this one can snatch anybody snatchable, okay? Snatch any big dummy snatchable, yeah. All right, guys, we are totally through with this project. We touched up on about 7 different styles that you can incorporate into your garment. Both the ones that the seam line will show on the exterior part of the garment, like this one's right here, and the ones that are properly hidden that you won't even know that, oh, this one is showing. Okay, this one isn't showing. Yeah, so I just showed you everything that you need to run with. Okay, so let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you have any feedback, you have anyone that you need further clarifications on, let me know as well. Thank you so much for watching. Please do not forget to subscribe and give me a huge thumbs up if you did enjoy this video. What else? Yeah, check out the playlist that I've made, simple DIY projects that you can try out on your own. Projects that will not even take up to an hour for you to finish them. Okay, thank you so much for watching, guys. We'll see you in our next tutorial. Stay safe. God bless you all. Bye.